Hey guys, it's Chris aka Fat Pom Gamer from Do You Even Game Bro. Now today I'm very excited to be bringing you a brand new series on this channel. It's called This versus That. Now the premise is going to be we are going to take two games of similar styles and sort of give the pros and cons of each game, and then right at the end I'll give my ultimate decision on which one I feel is the better game. So for today's episode, for episode 1, we are going to be looking at FIFA 16 versus Pro Evolution Soccer 2016. Obviously both football/soccer games, one made by EA and one made by Konami. So first off, I'm probably going to jump into the graphics side of it, purely because it's the easiest to do. Now, as you'll see on screen, I will be showing different styles from both FIFA and Pro Evolution. Graphics-wise, to me, there isn't too much of a difference until it comes to the close-ups. Once you get to the close-up showing keepers making saves, and it pans in on their face, that's when you notice that PES is definitely the better game for that. They've put a lot more effort into the actual character looks. So PES have definitely put more effort into the actual faces, height, I feel, and maybe the actual legitimate sizes of the players, and correlated that back to the gameplay. So we'll move into the gameplay now, actually, because that's pretty much it for the graphics. They're very similar and they're very basic in regards to what they are, as they are football games. Gameplay, there is a huge difference. This is definitely the biggest difference between the two of them. I feel that in PES, players try to keep hold of the ball a lot longer, and actions like shoving, if they're physically strong or they're quite quick or agile, 9 times out of 10 they'll keep the ball. Somebody like Neymar, if you shoulder barge him, he's not going to fall over. In FIFA, just running at the person the wrong way will knock them over, draw a foul, or give away free kicks and penalties. So they definitely put a lot more into the gameplay. For PES. I like the passing. In FIFA last year I found it was fine, a bit of pace abuse. They've backed that down this year, but they've made the passing damn near impossible. I find the best way is to hold R1 and hold X to get a really strong pass, and that's the only way it connects. There are so many interceptions this year, it is just not funny in FIFA. And it's an extremely hard game to get around initially. If you do manage to, I wouldn't say master, because it's extremely hard to master the passing and stuff like that. But if you can get a decent hand on it, then you will have an enjoyable experience. And PES, like I said, is very simple. You pass. You still get interceptions if your passes are weak, or you're not aiming in the right direction. You're trying to do like a backwards pass, but still using the front, the front of your foot. When you're trying to spin. It is still going to go AWOL, but majority of the time the passes connect, the shots are on target, pretty much like you'd expect them to be in a football game. The mechanics, the actual in-game mechanics are fairly different as well. I would say the one thing I don't like about the PES is when you shoot, the keeper seems to sort of stand still and then all of a sudden make this weird sort of dive, and it just doesn't feel. It feels like it's lagging, whereas FIFA did quite the opposite, and they've made goalkeepers absolute ninjas in response to the fact that they'll be diving all over the place, and then you look at them and you're like, how did you possibly save that? So we've got PES on one end, and then right on the other extreme is FIFA. The mechanics for FIFA have drastically decreased. Last year I felt was great apart from pace abuse. This year they've backed that down, which is fine, but then they've made the massive mistake in regards to tackling, trying to get people off the ball, and the biggest issue is the referees. Like I said, if you come in at the wrong angle or you shove them too hard, you draw penalties, free kicks, cards like there's no tomorrow. It's definitely overboard, and I've seen people lose 3-4 players in the game from tackles that I felt were actually quite fun.
Joe Allen, they're in a good position here.
Reds, some of them absolutely put them on the.
He's closed down well and stopped the cross coming in. Preston won the ball well forward. Allen, goal! Off the post and in.
And they're trying to shoot, I won't tackle them because I'm just going to draw a penalty. The best thing I can do is try and get in front of the player so that he either A, can't take a shot and is forced back out of the box, or B, takes the shot but I get to intercept it and then move it out my own box, obviously with my own players. For me, PES definitely has the stronger gameplay of the two. Feels a lot more smooth, and the way the players interact with the ball and with each other just feels a lot more realistic than drawing 38 bloody fouls in a game in 12 minutes is just ridiculous. However, in saying that, for me, FIFA's online is where it's at. I played online in PES. I didn't enjoy it at all. There was just something that seemed a bit off with it. Can't quite put my finger on what it was. It did feel a bit laggy as well, even though my internet, I double checked and triple checked beforehand, was perfectly fine. I had no issues. It just felt very slow. Very slow and very dull. Whereas FIFA, obviously, I do an Ultimate Team series, which I quite enjoy, and I feel that it's a lot nicer. It's a lot smoother and a lot nicer online. You still run into those same mechanical game mechanics and gameplay problems, though, in regards to interceptions and fouls and stuff like that. But I just feel that FIFA Ultimate Team is better than the PES. Is better than PES. PES have definitely stepped up the game in the last sort of year or two, but it's still a little bit under where FIFA is. FIFA also introduced the brand new Ultimate Team Draft. Now, for those who don't know what that is, there is a video on the Do You Even Game Bro channel. I'd recommend going to check that out, and that'll give you a clear indication of what it is. I enjoy the draft, but at the same time I find it extremely disappointing. It's always the same players, or everybody has, there's always Messi's, Ronaldo's, Neymar's, which is good, because everyone gets to use them, but at the same time it doesn't really build any, you don't build any interesting teams. It's all just either Bundesliga, BPL, BBVA, maxed out teams. When they announced the draft, I was kind of hoping that they would actually give us access to every single player, and then it'd just be an algorithm to who you got, and then you had to try and build the best team. So you'd have bronze, silvers, golds, informs, and then it was up to you as a player to try and make the best team that you could, to try and find players that were OP, bronze OP players, silver players that had some stupid stats that should have made them gold and stuff like that. But it didn't happen. It's a very small pool to choose from in regards to the players, and I feel that that's its massive letdown. Obviously, you do get your points or coins back in packs, but once again, the next issue with FIFA, pack weights this year are terrible. I've seen people, especially over the Cyber Monday, open up thousands and thousands of dollars worth of packs and get absolutely no one. Players like Costa, who only go for 20k, but you could have spent, 200-300k on packs trying to get him. They have taken coin sellers out of the equation, so FIFA points are selling now, which means that the price of coins, the coins are very hard to come by, and therefore worth a lot more. But people just, people are packing absolutely terrible packs, and saying that, there are people getting great packs, but the majority of the people opening packs are finding that the results are pretty terrible for them, which is unfortunate. Last year, the pack weights weren't great, but they were nowhere near as bad as this year. This year they've made balls that are gold, so that if you open in a 7.5k pack, if you get a gold ball, you're going to sell it for like 100 coins. It's a massive waste of what they could do. PES's equivalent is balls, so pretty much they have gold balls and black balls. Black is going to give you a higher rated player. Gold is normal. The thing I like about PES though is if you only open a gold and get yourselves an average player, your black balls increase, so you actually get a better chance of pulling a better player down the track. Now it is only the one player. They don't run the whole getting tired, adding attribute cards or anything like that on PES, which is fine for some people. For me personally, I like that style because players do get tired realistically, and the Ultimate Team experience feels a bit more realistic. But in saying that, the idea of the black balls increasing with the odds increasing as you open gold ones is a fantastic idea. You know, it means that people are actually getting decent players more regularly, and being able to use use people like Ibra, Ronaldo, Messi a lot more often than trying to open them on FIFA 16 this year. Now, exclusives. So as we discussed, EA has the draft. They also have the rights to many of the names. So in PES you will notice that a lot of teams have different names, like North London being Arsenal. They don't have the rights to some of the names, so they've had to change them. They still have the same players, and the ratings on the players are extremely different from game to game. But that's neither here nor there. The main thing is, obviously, you still can use the players and still use the teams. It's just not going to have the proper name, but there again, the name isn't all that much anyway. PES, on the other hand, has UEFA Champions League this year, which is massive for those. I played it offline. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Really enjoyed the style of it rather than the divisions, you know, sort of playing into the top, playing in your group and then moving forward. I really enjoyed that. Okay guys, so to finalise the video, for me it's really going to come down to personal preference of what you're expecting, of what you want, from your game. If you want to go online, you know, you want to create the best teams, you know, and you want to do series similar to what I do, I'd probably recommend FIFA. If you're playing offline, I definitely recommend PES. That's just me personally. Like I said, I had a horrible time online. It's not to say that if you were to stay on PES online, you would obviously get better. But for me, I just didn't enjoy it online. So for me, if I had a choice, if I wanted to play offline or just play with my family members and siblings, I would definitely go PES all the way. If I wanted to do more online, I would definitely recommend going the way of FIFA. So that's it, that's the review there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you for episode 2.